Yeah, like not too much to get back.
Yeah.
Much different track and stuff, obviously, but oh, that man, somewhat familiar to me with the guys. I think hobby action to me is a bit different. Maybe more of a abrasive sort of group rather than a hacky group. But nonetheless, like great practice. This is a close you can get.
I've only driven since yeah, 3 times. Yeah, so anything I can get is worth it. I'll be driving on my
That's Bradley Charlie, New Zealand fella. He's a good mate of mine. He's a bloody pet show. That Jason Rona over there, isn't it? Yeah. I can't tell. Looks like it. Oh,
Drums keep pounding a rhythm to the brain. La da 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 dee. Da 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 da. Drums keep pounding a rhythm to the brain. La da 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 dee. Da 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 da.
oh, not that one. That one. That one. Come on. No, that's not it. There we go. All righty, we're good. There you go, mate. What's going on, guys? Right behind us at the moment is Luke Prattley, New Zealand's best driver. Yeah, come on, stay here. So New Zealand's top driver right here. Gonna go hop straight into it. This is Luke Prattley. So for those people that don't know, I've been friends with Luke for quite a while now. We give each other more shit than you can comprehend. So Luke, obviously coming from New Zealand, New Zealand's best and only driver, competing at the world titles here. How are you liking the track?
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. Different to what I've ever driven on before, but yeah, we need these at home.
Yeah, for sure. You've only done probably what about 4 or 5 rounds in each car, or 4 or 5 5-minute heats, and
yeah, I did probably 4 or 5 runs in the 2-wheel drive, and just done my 3rd in the 4-wheel drive. So still getting used to it. It's massively different. So it's so much grip, like almost carpet-like grip, but yeah, carpet-like grip, but with the bumps of off-road, which makes it's really cool.
Yeah, and yeah, as you mentioned, so grip level almost carpet-like. It's quite high. Let's tilt this up. That's better. We can move back here and have a chat now. Luke likes it on his knees.
Yeah.
So yeah, carpet-like grip, obviously on clay, running a slick tire. So slick tires, you haven't done much work with either, have you?
Nah, nothing. Slick tires, traction compound. It's all new to me. So on one hand, it's a disadvantage. On the other hand, it's great because it doesn't actually matter what I got on the car. It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, once we get over to hobby action, we won't be able to use a traction compound or level the playing field back out as well. We're just sort of using it to sort of get a similar grip level to what we'll be using actually out at hobby action. But other than that, you're actually running the Schumacher cars. You're one of probably fairly few people running the Schumacher cars this week and into the Worlds. What are you thinking about them at the moment?
Yeah, I like them. I've been running Schumacher for 3 years or so since I started importing them to New Zealand. They've been fantastic. They've pretty much all both gone on the track, and yeah, they're not perfect, but they're there or thereabouts. So it's we're going round and round and round, and they're doing what they need to. So
yeah, the cars actually look pretty good out there at the moment as well. Surprised straight away from on the track, they look pretty damn good. Logan Toya, hey Logan. But yeah, overall, how are you liking the facility? San Diego, you did a bit of other stuff, work-related stuff. How are you liking America in general?
Yeah, we did. I flew into Austin originally about just over a week ago. Had a additive manufacturing conference over there, so spent 4 or 5 days in Austin. That was pretty cool. Really, really cool city. Had a bit of a look around, did some touristy stuff, did the conference. Then we flew down to Houston, did a couple of nights there, did the Space Center. That was really cool. Houston was, yeah, it was okay. Wasn't anywhere near as good as Austin or San Diego where we are now. we flew down to San Diego on Saturday, went and did some touristy stuff and sightseeing, and Jess is off shopping at the moment, so that's cool. She flies off for a girls trip tomorrow, and we get to go RC racing for 10 days. So can't ask for much better than that, really.
Oh, all good, man. Go do some laps, and we'll talk to you a bit later. Alrighty. So, a couple of guys getting around at the moment. Obviously, decently full driver stand. The group's really sort of come up in the last sort of couple of hours. G'day, Matty. Best of luck, Luke. Yeah. The group's really starting to come up the last couple of hours. This is actually Sturdy going down the straight there. We'll try and follow him around a little bit at the moment. He's really finding his pace out there now, getting some really hot laps in. Tom Rindernick, big X-ray drivers out there, going around pretty soon as well. There's Sturdy getting around now. A lot more comfortable, a lot more drivable than what we had yesterday. We found a couple of better setup options for what we've been running. And it found a lot of speed, a lot of consistency. So that's great for Sturdy. Similar with myself, we've both found a lot of speed from today. But yeah, track definitely has a bit more grip out there than what we had yesterday, which obviously is helping as well. Apart from that, it's same old, same old. We're still looking at heading over to Hobby Action on Thursday. If you guys haven't seen as well, Hobby Action actually released the four-wheel drive portion of the world's layout. That's really interesting. Very similar layout as to what we have here at SDRC. So we are able to practice on quite a similar layout, similar grip level, the whole works and jerks whilst we're here, which is really cool. Obviously, they actually are going to do a bit of practice for non-competitors of the world titles in the next couple of days, I do believe. And yeah, so we'll hopefully get a bit of video from the actual world's layout. There's young Monday getting around out there at the moment as well. Young Lockie Monday going really well out there by the looks of it at the moment as well. Car looking really clean, really quick. Over the triple E goes there, nice and smooth. Into the front triple now. Nice and clean, a little bit long there, but down ramps it really nice, gets a double, forward in the car, down the straight. Really clean looking car as well. Handling the bumps really well, actually, surprisingly, like one of the best looking cars handling the bumps out there at the moment. So over the triple again, super smooth, super consistent looking car out there. Onto the straight again is young Lockie Monday. Who else we got up there at the moment? Not sure about so many of the other drivers at the moment. Yeah, once again, there's Chris. Come over, chat to him. How's it going, man? My name's Mitch.
How we doing? How we doing?
Good, good. All righty. We actually got Tom Rindernick here, big X-ray driver over the US. There you go, man. Introduce yourself, all this sort of stuff.
It's Tom Rinderneck here. This is my local track, SDRC. I'm showing up. All the Aussie boys are here. Super excited to have everybody coming out. I run for X-ray. R1 Works. I work there with the electronics. J Concepts tires. Just out here getting some laps in for the race. Like I said, great to see these guys out here. It's going to be a good race. Everybody's getting prepared. Clearly a serious race when everybody's showing up on Monday. So, heck yeah.
The grip level you have here at the moment, how similar are we looking at this compared to, say, Hobby Action?
For me, it's hard to say because, the warm-up was a bit lower grip, and then I went back again, and it was even higher grip than the warm-up. So I'm not really sure what the grip's going to be looking like. I think that this here is a bit higher for sure, but it's hard to say exactly how low or how high the grip's going to be.
Okay, and I saw you doing a couple of laps in your 2B before. Looked mega quick out there. What sort of lap times you're sort of basing around at the moment?
Yeah, my two-wheel drive, it seems like, 18 flats, high 17s is like the pace here. So far, I've gotten down to a 17.8 today. Really just kind of trying to do simulation runs of just not crashing 5 minutes clean, just like we'll run at the race. So, yeah.
Yeah, sweet. And have you done much work on your 4B here as of yet today?
I won't be busting out the four-wheel today. We've been doing lots of work with that thing. Got some new stuff on it. Don't really want to bust it up. So, yeah, we're just doing the two-wheel drive today. It seems to be the main focus. Four-wheel drive car is definitely our strong suit. So.
And what day are you heading over to Arizona? You're flying over there, you're driving, doing the drive? Or?
Oh, yeah, I'm driving over there. It's only about 5 hours. Nice just to have your own car, save on a rental. Just makes it a lot easier. So, yeah, quick drive over there and be good to go on Friday.
Yep. Awesome, man. No, thank you very much for the chat, and we'll see you around.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty. So that's young Tom Arindanek. What do we else we got? Travis, yeah, awesome work. Thank you very much. And yeah, Tommy. So once again, we'll have a bit more of a look around the track and stuff. We've got the SDRC doggo gun doing some laps as well by the looks of it. There's Lockie. What's going on, Lockie? But and once again, there's Sturdy. Down the straight he goes. Monday. So yeah, fair few quick guys out there at the moment. I'd say we'll get a couple more US-based drivers and stuff here in the next day or so. Especially Wednesday, Thursday sort of way, the last few days before we head over to the Worlds. That'll be the sort of 2 days that we expect to see someone, like a couple of the big names, especially local-based guys here. People like Spencer Ripken may not need to come here. They've done a heap of work obviously over at Hobby Action itself, so they might not need the extra work. So we've got Lockie Donnelly doing some laps out there now, so we can follow him around a bit. But yeah, other than that, a lot of the Aussie team over here now. We got Jaden Edmonds. He rocked up this morning as well. So it looks like Lachlan Donnelly getting around in his 4-wheel drive at the moment. Car looking once again really smooth. The Aussie guys have really integrated well into these tracks over here. One thing once again we really struggled with over at Slovakia, over at the European Worlds, was that the track was nothing like we'd ever seen or driven on before. So once again, Lockie Donnelly. So yeah, grip level here is much more familiar to all of the Aussie drivers, especially the Sydney guys. I think the Sydney guys have a bit of an advantage coming into this event. The grip level is almost identical to what they're probably running at right, or Lockie Donnelly getting the worst of that one. See if we can go from have a bit of a walk around as well. We won't disturb too many people out here. Oh, we got our SDRC doggo. We're gonna get an interview with him. Let's see what he has to say. Looks like he's looking for food. What have you got to say for yourself? Absolutely nothing. Devastating. Let's see. Who's setting the pace for Team Australia? We have so many fast drivers now. Look, honestly, it's really close between a lot of them. Donnelly, Ment, and Sturdy are all running around a very, very similar pace out there. I wouldn't be able to say exact times because I really don't have it on hand, but I'd say the 3 of them are definitely going around super quick. It'd be interesting to see how, like, Jaden Edmonds, when he jumps on track, how quick he goes. He'll be right up there really quick as well. Other than that, you know, I think they're fairly evenly matched. I wouldn't say that there's one guy is super quick or quicker than others. To be honest, they're very, very similar. Let's see what else we got. Better other hot dogs. They don't have any hot dogs here at the moment. The only dog here is old Scruffy. I actually don't know what his name is. SDRC dog. Dog is after some hot dogs. Yeah. Yeah. He was looking for some food scraps before. All right, we got Silvaggi making his way over now. This will be good. So team associated manager, obviously team manager of Australia as well. I'll have a bit of a chat to him. He's been keeping an eye on all the Australian guys, making sure they're not getting in trouble out there. And also sort of helping with setups and stuff throughout the last few days along those lines, especially for the associated guys. But even, you know, he's sitting right next to Brad Burko and giving him a helping hand as well whilst he's here. A lot of the AE guys have actually driven Brad's car. I've actually been watching them, you know, have a go at Brad's car to sort of test his setup and find out what's working better here and there as well. Alrighty, so coming over in just a second. Alrighty, here he is, Mr. Silvaggi. How's it going, mate?
How you doing? Good. How are you, mate?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, we don't get a chance to actually catch up with these because we're going crazy thrashing on cars to get shit ready, right? And it's insane. So yeah, actually, this is the longest conversation we've had.
Yeah, literally, I'd say it would be. So what's going on, man? So you're obviously team manager for Australia this weekend, month, year, all time. Yeah. But you're also doing a bit of running yourself. How are you getting on with the track?
Yeah, doing okay. I've been fortunate enough that I came here last year for INS and Top Gun, and then back again for the warm up for the World. So I kind of know how to drive this surface. Not that I'm saying I can drive it well, but I know how to drive it. it's hard. So the slick tire is completely different to what we run back home. Even on, say, our tracks at Keilor or Ride, we're running on like almost slick goop tires, but it's a different style of driving. You can't work the tire. You have to let the tire do the work for you. But yeah, I'm getting along okay. The layout's fun. The team's working really well. And yeah, we're just here, you know, living the dream and playing RC cars on the other side of the world. It's so much fun.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Epic facility. I've run through a heap of times now, but awesome facility. As you mentioned, you came over, did a couple of laps here earlier in the year. Or did you go to here as well, or just a hobby action earlier in the year?
Yeah, so last year we came here for a week. Then we went to Hobby Action to do the INS JC finale, so their series. And then we came back here in the start of December for Top Gun Shootout. So we did like a week here, a week in Arizona, then a week back here. So, and then for the One Up Cup, which was the world's warm up, it was purely just in Hobby Action for nearly 2 weeks.
And so they would have heavily, or a little bit more heavily glued the track for the Top Gun and stuff, would they? Or was it a similar grip level to what it is now?
Yeah, so they actually haven't been, when we were here, they hadn't glued the track. So they'd only just started gluing it after we left. So Coyote Hobbies, where you were earlier in the week, they kind of got on that glue train, and then they thought they'll try it here, obviously for consistency and maintenance. One of the things we found here when they run the track natural or wet, you come here in the morning and lap times are about 5 seconds slower, and then it slowly ramps up, which is frustrating for racers and for the guys that want to come here and turn laps. It's almost impossible to drive. So they started gluing here, and it's been pretty good. At the moment, the last time they glued it, I think, was for the JBRL round on Saturday, and they're just letting it soak off now. So it's kind of more how it was when I was here last time. So yeah, it's a bit different, but same. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we're seeing, I think a lot of the associates seem to be on a very similar pace as to what we had actually over in Europe. You know, we end up having, I think, 3 or 4 Aussies in the same heat. Do you think we're going to see a similar thing again? We're going to see, you know, 3 Aussies all in like the C or D mains roughly again, all together again?
I'd love to say I want to see, you know, 3 Aussies in the B and, you know, 1 scraping into the A, right? You know, we've got the talent, we've got the ability. We don't have the wheel time that these guys have here, and especially on these conditions. But I think, you know, you're only as good as the other people that you race. And so we're always on the back foot. You know, we have to create our own speed internally, or you have to have a big commitment, or someone who's an absolute standout, you know, Carl McBride-esque, you know, kind of freak of nature, so to speak. But even he had Renault Savoia come over and kind of bring him up. So I think it's going to take us to come over here a lot more and kind of level up. But you know, Chris almost made the main in China. You know, we've got Lachlan Donnelly here, who's going to, you know, who's honestly at the moment setting the benchmark for the team here. So I'm really confident if we have 3 guys that could put in flawless runs at Hobby Action, we're in the top 20 easy. But it's going to be challenging. I have a feeling that there'll be the rest of us that'll all be around the 50, 60, 70. And it'll be, you know, the usual guys battling each other. So I think it was you and me in Slovakia, right?
Yeah,
And then the one ahead of us was, I think, Lachlan Monday, Ray Monday, Lachlan Donnelly, and Isagen all in the one, right? So we kind of gravitate to each other because that's our pace at home. So yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm really pumped, and I'm confident that our guys are going to enjoy Hobby Action more than they did Slovakia. I'm really disappointed that to be honest, Geordie's not here because he's back home peaking at an absolute awesome level. So I would have loved to have seen the team from Slovakia come here and see how we stack up. So yeah, but we've got Chris here this time.
Yeah. So obviously a very strong team. And yeah, I've been saying a very similar thing as well. Like this is a lot more similar to grip level to what we run on a weekly basis or, you know, fortnightly basis compared to what we had over in Europe. We should be a lot more accustomed to this, and it should get us up the ranks a little bit more almost automatically without even having to put a massive amount of effort in all that side of things. So definitely a bit of a bonus helping hand for us. So, but yeah, but other than that, thank you very much for the chat, and we'll see you around. We'll see you around for action.
Keep it up, mate. Thank you. Bye, everyone at home. Bye, Mum.
Alrighty, we'll go for a bit more. I saw a couple of questions there. Let's have a look. Any news on host region for 2025? Yes. So I think RCRA did actually put out a post. That's RCRA 10th Off-Road put out a post the other day saying they have sent emails to all clubs within Australia. So if you are watching this and you are a club president, check your emails for your club, because there is likely an email there about potential bids and that sort of side of things for the 2025 world titles. Now, let's try not to get cleaned up by a car here. So the likelihood is, and I would say it's a very high likelihood, that we will be holding the world titles in 2025. If I was to put a percentage likelihood on it, I'd say it'd be about a 95%. From what I can hear, at least. Give me a second, guys. A little bit of marshalling wasn't here. So yeah, IFMA put out a post as well, saying pretty much the same thing. So there's a good chance, a very, very good chance that the 2025 IFMA 10 scale off-roads will be in Australia. I'm sure that more information will come out about that as we go through the world titles in a week's time. Usually IFMA officially announces it then. But I would say the likelihood is it's going to be in Australia. As for the tracks, that's going to be up to the clubs. It really is. It's going to be up to the clubs to put in applications, all that sort of side of things. So very interesting times ahead. Looking forward to the hopeful, or the likelihood at least, of a bit of a 10 scale resurgence in Australia. I'd be surprised if we didn't see quite a big explosion of numbers of 10 scale races in Australia, similar to what we had with the 8 scale worlds for Western Australia, where we had, you know, pretty much everyone in RC in Australia competing for the 8 scale worlds to try and get a spot over there. I'd be surprised if we don't get a very similar thing for the 10 scale worlds. Now, in saying that, obviously it hasn't been officially announced and we'll be waiting on word for that, but it looks very likely. We'll have a bit more of a chat to Clive when he rocks up. I'm not sure if he's turning up today or tonight or tomorrow along those lines, but I'm pretty sure he is coming soonish. I'm not sure whether he's doing the drive over or those sort of side of things. I have a feeling he's turning up in LA and driving over and driving back. So I think he put up a post a couple of days ago saying he has spare room in his car. Could be wrong. Could be very wrong. And yeah, Travis said, correct, we have received an email. Perfect. Definitely big opportunities for a lot of tracks in Australia to potentially host this. You know, Chargers obviously being a standout along with Keilor, West Coast, or the track they're holding the Nationals at the moment. I could probably spit off at least 4 or 5 tracks that are well and truly deserving of holding a world titles in Australia. But I'd like to see them put in the effort and the work to sort of get them, you know, to the front of the queue. In saying that, obviously a lot of things go into hosting a world titles. A lot of things are in the background that majority of people don't see. Even myself, I'm sure that I won't comprehend the amount of work that goes into a world titles. I will be having a chat to Jake Thayer if I get an opportunity, who is virtually the track manager at Hobby Action, and to try and get a bit of a gist of how much effort and work actually goes into hosting a world titles. Which I think will be a very interesting interview / chat with him. I tried to have a bit of a chat with him on live stream a while back, but Australian to American times really suck. So being over here, I can actually interview him in person, and that'll be a much more sort of interesting and interactive interview. Apart from that, we'll go have another bit of a look around. So Sturdy doing laps in his 4B now. Sturdy's doing bulk laps at the moment. Looks like Tom Rindenek's actually doing some laps in his 2-wheel drive. So coming down the straight here is Tom Rindenek. Car looking absolutely dialed out there. The grip on that thing is insane. So once again, we had a chat with Tom just before, and the thing is ripping hard. Easily the most grip we've seen out there so far. Try and get a bit of a better view. So coming down off the straight again. Ooh, bit too much grip. We'll give him a helping hand. Obviously trying to find the limits of his car. Go for a bit of a view up here. It's Sturdy going around again. So here comes Tom coming up the hill. Look at the turning ability on that X-ray. It's insane. There's Sturdy going down the hill. Catching a bit of traffic. So once again, we'll follow. It's Tom coming around. Have a look at the turning ability in this X-ray. Down the hill, over the triple. U-turn, U-turn, and into the triple again. It's super smooth out there. Bit of chaos out there at the moment. Lucky Monday, once again around it. It's two-wheel drive, doing bowl collapse in that 2B out there at the moment. Really trying to perfect that two-wheel drive. Over the triple, he goes. That 2B looking real smooth for young Lucky Monday. Tom Rindeneck obviously right behind him as well. You can see the pace difference between the two of them, the grip level and stuff. Slightly offline there for Lucky Monday, and you lose all traction. So that's the biggest thing around both hobby action and also right here in SDRC. The racing line is extremely important. Like that, you can't stress how important that racing line is. You go slightly off of it, and you're doing a loop-de-loop. It's just near impossible to get any traction offline now. Even worse is when you go on the infield. The infield is impossible. You may as well take the car off the track if you go on the infield because you're going to be doing loops for about 3 or 4 laps. Something that I've experienced many times out there. So literally, if you bugger up the triple, end up off the track, you're going around for about 3 or 4 laps just to try and burn the dust off the tire. It's awful. Luckily, Hobby Action have actually AstroTurfed the infield. We don't know if that'll make it better or worse. I guess we'll find out in due time. Jaden's over. Give me 1 second, guys. So obviously, a lot of people taking that high-speed corner really aggressively, see if we can get a bit of action of it. Don't know how well you'll be able to see it. Just give me 1 second. I'll set the camera down for you. Come around over here a little bit better. See the absolute apex speed of just off the straight here. It's just crazy. How's that? That's pretty good. You can see Tom just hooking into it as well. So just the high-speed corners and stuff, you're really teeter-tottering on the edge of absolute grip and just rolling it on over. Like Lucky Monday. No, it's not Lucky Monday. Here comes Tom again. Just right on the edge. Got to get some slow-mo of his car going around sooner or later because his car is absolutely flying. It's Lockie. So once again, you can actually see the pace difference between someone like Tom Rindeneck coming around now, really pushing the edge of the limit there. So trying to find every 1/10 of a second you possibly can out there. And using that tight inside line almost every single time. Yeah, Matthew Lawrence should see a massive rise in modified. Good times ahead. Time to fill the calendar. Time to fill in the calendar. Yeah. So that's going to be another thing. You'll see a lot of guys doing a lot of interstate running, trying to battle against every top driver in Australia. We'll have the world. Once again, this is all, if we happen to get it, but we'll end up having the world's warm up as well. Nice pass there for Monday. Get the 2-for-1. In the world's warm-up, you quite often see a lot of top drivers making their way over to test test it out the track and stuff, get a feel for everything before they end up doing the actual world titles. Yeah, Chloe Beersford, good question. So four-wheel drive is first. I know Christine just jumped on that and said, yep, four-wheel drive is first for this Worlds. It's a pretty rare thing. I'm not sure when the last time that happened was, but so yeah, four-wheel drive is first to try and help bed the track in. All right, so we're back on the other side now. So we'll go for a walk up on the driver's stand. We'll try not to interrupt any of the drivers. So yeah, four-wheel driver first. They're going to do a bit of a track change. We're not sure exactly what that is going to entail. We don't believe they're going to be digging up any or too much dirt, but they're going to do some form of track change at least. Alrighty. We won't interrupt these guys too much, but we'll get at least a bit of a view from the driver's stand up here. We'll follow Lockie Monday around a little bit. Try and keep it a little bit quiet while these guys are driving around. Once again, Lockie's car looking really clean out there at the moment. Coming into the triple now in the center. Nice and smooth, nice and flat. Car looking really dialed in out there. So these guys are doing an epic job of keeping this track very consistent all day long, every day, 365, 7 days a week. Usually they wouldn't be open on a Monday. So because of the world titles coming up, they've actually decided to open today. Along with that, it's actually a Labor Day over here. Oh, Lockie goes to the wrong side. So once again, like I said before, you'll see Lockie really struggling to get traction now for the next like half lap to lap. See, you make one mistake, mistakes just follow along with it. It's really challenging once you go onto the infield. It's almost, you know, time to pull it off because you've virtually lost all your traction and you've built up for the last, say, 3 minutes. So he's starting to bring it back in now. It takes a good amount of time. Then once again, small mistake. It's gonna have to burn that dirt off the tire again now. So it's going to be very similar, we believe, over at Hobby Action. You run off line. It's going to take a good couple of corners to come back into the groove before you can actually sort of get into your racing, speed and stuff, I should say. There we go. It looks to be back on pace now. It's super challenging. You only make one small mistake and it'll cost you for the next lap, 2 laps, maybe even longer. Might affect the whole rest of your heat. All right, we'll get for the driver's stand now. Let these guys do their thing. All righty. Comes the end of the triple here. Probably a bit of chaos on this triple. But yeah, so that's one of the biggest things about both Hobby Action and what it feels like here. We've heard reports from both tracks is quite similar. Have a look. There we go. You go into the infield, go offline a little bit, and you may as well bring it in because it's really tough once you pick up that dirt on your tires. Let's see. We've got Brad Verco going around out there at the moment, going down the back straight. So he's another one of our Aussie drivers making the trip over. So it's good to see, everyone making the trip over. We've got a good team out here this year. Try and follow Brad around a little bit. Whereabouts is he? Going over the triple now. Coming towards us into the triple. Oh, go for a bit of a roll. Run the S-Works gear actually this weekend. We'll give Jaden Evans a bit of a helping hand. So really challenging little hip jump here, actually. Just give me 1 second again, guys. So you're hitting it at a bit of an angle, which is wanting to send the car the sort of wrong way in a certain way. I know the Chargers guys will be somewhat used to this sort of jump. So as you can see, it's wanting to send the car over on itself. You have to do a little twitch in the air to sort of bring the car back onto the all four smoothly. Otherwise, you end up just like that. There goes Lockie Monday. So once again, have to get that little twitch in the air to bring it down nice and square. Otherwise, you just end up landing square on your roof, and it's really a frustrating little jump. There's Jaden coming to grips with the track. Here comes Lockie again. Much better that time. So once again, a lot of the features that we have here are actually quite similar to what we'll be running on over at Hobby Action. Make our way back over to our table area. So over here at the moment is 5 p.m. It's coming towards the end of the practice cycling day. Got a lot of American legends just doing laps and having a laugh with us over here, which is awesome. We've got about 2 hours more practice before the end of the day. And yeah, so a lot of the Aussie guys doing pretty well out there, obviously. Let's see, have a bit of a sit down chat, mate, as well. But other than that, a lot of the Aussie guys doing really well over here, which is great to see, great to hear. And yeah, looks like the Sturdy's doing a lot of work on their cars at the moment. So they might even be setting up their world's cars at the moment. So I'll let them do their thing. Other than that, guys, we'll pretty much stop things at that. We've been talking for about 35 minutes. We'll do another update probably tomorrow. Got a couple of videos and stuff we'll probably put up in the next couple of hours, I'd say. A couple of slow-mo videos. Hopefully we can get this, hopefully we can see Tom Rinderneck going around turn 1 and we'll get some slow-mo video of his lines and stuff, see how his shock absorbers and stuff going. So his car is crazy quick out there. He's by far the quickest driver out there in his tour drive. So try and get a bit of footage of him getting around out there as well. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.